What's up, guys? Welcome back. Welcome back. Your network should not determine your net worth. And I'll say it again. Your network should not determine your net worth. And what's going on right now is that we're choosing to take... What's up, Coach Minetta? So wonderful to see you as usual. Coach of the Year right there, people, if you don't know. Coach Minetta, athletic director, leading the city in terms of athletic directors, in my opinion. And let's get right to it. Your network determines your net worth. That's right. I said it. Your network determines your net worth. We got some great news tonight. We're gonna have an outstanding guest tonight. The story tonight is so powerful. I'm glad you guys are joining. Thomasina, as usual, Emerge Group. Good to see you, Miss Minnie Mink. Good to see you. All right, so good evening, guys. Great news. We picked up some sponsors. Yes, that's right. We picked up some sponsors. So I want to give a shout out to tonight's sponsor, Miss Fanny Sweet Shop, Southern Star Bakery, based right here in New York. That's Miss Fanny Sweet Shop. Look it up on Instagram. I personally had the pound cake with icing, and it was outstanding. So if you want a nice dessert, Miss Fanny Sweet Shop, hit her up on Instagram. Outstanding. So as I said, we got a sponsor. We got Miss Fanny Sweet Shop sponsoring us. We also picked up another sponsor tonight, NicoletteEmerson.com, which is a spa specializing in massages and self-care. So that's NicoletteEmerson.com. And if you are looking for a discount on massage and self-care right now, just type in the code YES20 for NicoletteEmerson.com. And again, shout out to Miss Fanny Sweet Shop, who's also sponsoring us tonight. And let's start the show off. We got a wonderful guest tonight. And your network, ladies and gentlemen, determines your net worth. Okay? So we've had the pandemic, and it's time to start thinking about what is the vision of yourself. We've had time to reflect now because we've been home for quite some time. And we've certainly had some time to say, what is it that we want to change in our life, right? So what is the vision for yourself is what I'm talking about. And what is it that you want for yourself? And what behaviors, if you do want to be successful, whatever it is that you have a vision for, you want to be successful, you want that company to grow, you want to lose weight, you want to relocate, you want to save money. What behaviors do you need to let go of in order for all of this to happen? And then the question is, what is the next greatest version of yourself? And what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for to get that next greatest version of yourself? What are you doing? Right? If you want to be successful, you have to be willing to let go of certain things, people. This is real, right? So it's either super stress or no stress, right? And that only happens when you are willing to let go of certain things, right? So tonight's guest is... First of all, happy Women's History Month. Oh, it's April 2nd, right? But for me and for everyone, Women's History Month is every month. I don't wait for one particular month to put us in a box, to put our queens in a box. Women's History Month is every month, okay? So shout out to all the mothers, shout out to all the women, shout out to single women raising young boys and young ladies, All right, so we're going to get right into it. We have Miss Jacqueline Fernandez from Bloom Empowerment. Without further ado, we're going to welcome Miss Fernandez. Okay. Miss Fernandez. By the way, before we get into that, I just want to, I forgot to say, I'm Martin Smallhorne. And I've been an educator for 25 years now. 5 years as a teacher, 20 years as an administrator. And the reason for me starting this, Yes, Your Educational Story, is we're trying to get at the gist of what it is that makes us, or when do we come to that conclusion that, you know what, our aha moment in our life says, you know what, I'm going to run with this and this is what's going to make me successful. I'm not going to look back and I don't care what anyone says. You know, I'm willing to pivot and do whatever is necessary to take control of my future and my destiny, right? And also, we are specifically focusing on people like myself who came out of certain zip codes: Brooklyn, Brownsville, Brooklyn, 11212, state your zip code. And we decided that, you know what, we're not going to allow our zip code to determine our destiny. And for everyone out there, understand also, your situation right now does not determine your destination. You are willing, if you're willing to let go of certain things and change, it can happen, okay? But of course, you have to put forth the work. So tonight's guest, Jacqueline Fernandez, if you're there, please get on so we can bring you in. Okay. And again, people, remember, your network determines your net worth. Okay, waiting for Jackie here. This is always the little thing with the Instagram live. Jackie, if you're there, just hit the, there you go. Hey, what's up, Islam? Sahara, what's going on? Libya. Shout out to Sahara Placencia, one of the greatest moms I know, right? And again, happy Women's History Month. We're waiting for Jackie to get on here. She's coming, don't worry, people. She's coming. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you've had some time during the pandemic to really have some self-reflection. And I think it's only right that you take the time to take a look and assess what's going on in your life, because sometimes when we take a look at what's going on around us, it definitely is a result of what our future outcome will be. You know, there's that old story that if you're the smartest person in the room, it might be time to get out of that room. It might be time to get out of that room because you can't grow. You need to surround yourself with individuals that will allow you to grow. All right. Okay. And all right, here we go. Miss Jacqueline Fernandez is coming in right now. Waiting for her to log on. She's coming, people. This is the world of technology, you know. But again, yeah, so what we're talking about is that your network determines your net worth. And if you're the smartest person in the room, it might be time to get out of that room. You know, and I remember a certain relationship, while we wait for Jackie to come on, remember a certain relationship where the man and the woman, you know, they would go to events all the time together. And, you know, it came to a point where at a certain event, they started sitting separately. And, you know, people started to wonder, like, yo, why are you sitting separately? And, you know, the guy was like, well, she don't want me because I don't have anything. You know, she don't want me because I don't have anything. And the woman was like, well, it's not that I don't want to be with you because you don't have anything. I don't want to be with you because you don't want anything. So we got to be mindful of the relationships that we have, because again, our network is still determined. Our network determines our net worth. Jackie's just having a little bit of trouble, people coming on, but don't worry, she'll be on shortly. And hey, Antonio Blandaris has joined us. Shout out to Bland. What's up, Bland? I know we're looking forward to getting back into the swing of things, right? Just waiting for Jackie now. We do have an outstanding guest, Jacqueline Fernandez from Bloom as Women, and she's going to be talking about supporting single mothers and what the effects of not supporting single mothers and can have, not only on our educational system, but on our environment and as relates to housing and so many other things. All right. Looks like Jackie is coming on now. Let me see. Hold on one 1 second. Okay. All right. And shout out again, once again, to our sponsors tonight. We have Miss Fanny's Sweet Shop, who is sponsoring us tonight. And if you go to Miss Fanny's Sweet Shop on Instagram and enter the yes code, you will get a discount, right? And also shout out to NicolateEmerson.com massage spa that is also sponsoring us tonight. And excuse me, if you enter the yes 20, you can get a discount on a massage. So shout out to our two sponsors tonight. And we are waiting for Miss Fernandez, who's telling me that she's having just a little bit of technical difficulty, but she will be on. Okay. I saw that we had Mr. Tesla out there. Mr. Tesla, are you still out there? Does anybody have any questions? Anybody have any? Hey, what's up, Lyrical Savior? Shango, okay. What's going on, Dougie? I see you out there, Dougie. Thank you. And for those of you, Dougie does a like a live performance at night. Shango the King, what's going on? Greetings and blessings to you, Mr. Dougie. We just have a little Tesla. Okay, here she is. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen. Here she is. Okay. Without further ado, we have the wonderful Jacqueline Fernandez, and she's coming on right now.
My phone wasn't working. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You made it.
And my iPad. It wasn't. It wasn't going, so I have to use my mother's.
Look, you made it.
I made it. How are you? Good evening, everyone.
We're here now.
Technical difficulties. I'm sorry.
Look, yeah. This is the world of technology. This is what happens. You know, we don't have the luxury of saying, you know, we're live. But listen, we're here. I'm pleased to have you. State your zip code, or in your case, your zip codes. All right.
Yeah. Okay. 07621 from Jersey. I was born in Brooklyn, Flatbush.
Okay.
I grew up uptown in the Bronx. And
all right.
I'm living in New Jersey, Bergen County. Yeah.
All right.
Hi, everyone. It's not charged completely. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. You're here. You're here. It's good to see you. And thank you for coming on and sharing your educational story. You know, and I think that tonight is going to be so impactful. It's so important that you share the story. And your journey is so special. You know, so please, where would you like to start with your educational story?
So let's start where I grew up. So like I mentioned, I grew up in Brooklyn.
Okay.
I had the normal childhood, and early on in my childhood, my mother and my stepfather, their marriage didn't go well. And I remember leaving Brooklyn and moving into a shelter. For about
How old were you at that time?
12.
12. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it had to be in the middle. I was starting middle school.
Okay.
So that was an ordeal for me. You know, that was a transition that I had to adjust, but it wasn't something that was easy.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, leaving my life, you know, that I grew up, my early childhood. So from there, we stood in the Bronx. We never went back to Brooklyn. We never went back. Went to high school, went to Jane Addams High School. And from Jane Addams, my mom and I, we didn't get along too much. So I moved to Boston for about a year. Then when I moved back from Boston to New York, I went to Evander Charles High School.
Okay.
Which is uptown. Graduated from there. And after that, it wasn't like my mother, like, she never really pushed me or suggested or even motivated me to go to college. So college wasn't something that was discussed in my home. I remember on that getting the. I apologize, Martin. Hold on.
That's okay. You got a business. You got a popular business.
And they don't realize every time they come in and out my business, the bell rings. You hear it? Yes.
Yeah. For everyone online.
Martin, it's your friend. It's your friend Sahara.
Tell mom we're live, please. Can she just wait a few minutes, Mom?
So so she didn't push me to go to college.
Okay.
Because and it's not that I'm upset at her, because her mother didn't push her and the mother didn't push her. So there was a generational culture thing that college wasn't encouraged in our culture.
But where's your mom from? Where was your mom born? Was she born here in the States?
My mother's from Dominican Republic.
Okay, shout out to DR.
Shout out to DR.
Shout out to DR. Okay. Okay. So your mom immigrated here and she had you here, right?
She had me here.
Okay, BK. Okay. All right.
She had the four of us, my two sisters, and my brother.
Okay.
When you go live, you everything is expected, right, Martin?
Yo, listen, we just flowing, okay? We just flowing.
So, I remember hanging out with some friends, and I was always a reader. And
okay.
I remember walking by Fordham, and my friend telling me, "You always reading a goddamn book." Oh my God! And to be honest, I was hanging out with people who smoke weed and drinking, and that was like that became my normality, right?
Okay. So this is high school, right? This is high school.
This is after high school, because
I didn't after high school.
High school, yes, but even during high school, I was always a reader because my mom was a reader. So we were into books like Stephen King. You know, we were always reading. Every time she finished a book, she was like, "Oh, you want to read?" So I was always a reader. I'm a person who likes to do research. I love to read. I like to educate myself.
Okay.
And so I remember my friends telling me, "You should go to college." And as soon as they said that, Monroe College is located in Fordham.
Yes.
So I walked into Monroe College, and I didn't know how easy that was. So I went to Monroe College. I didn't finish it. I dropped out because it was too complicated, but it was something that I was interested in. So I got a few college credits, and my mother, when I was attending Jane Addams, the principal of that school, I was doing community service. I hooked my mother with a job.
Okay.
My mother came into the DOE, the New York City Department of Education, and a couple of after Monroe College, she's like, "You want a job with the DOE?" And I said, "Oh, okay." So I started working for the Department of Education. I worked for the New York City Department of Education as a parent coordinator for 10 years.
As a parent, so that's how you came in as a parent coordinator.
I came in.
I just want to jump back a little bit because you said something about college that's interesting that happens with a lot of us who come out of zip codes, I should say, in the inner city, where it's like, you go to college and then you start to realize that like I remember when I first got into Baruch, there were a lot of things coming out of Westinghouse High School that I was like, well, everybody else is finished with their tests. I'm still working on my tests, and I'm like, man, did I miss something? But then I started to realize that I wasn't adequately prepared in high school to actually survive in college. So you mentioned that, you dropped out, and I'm trying to understand also why a lot of us go on to college, but then we don't last a semester or a year. Was there an experience in college that changed that had a result on that?
Because I don't think I was prepared in high school, or I wasn't told the importance of college. I didn't find the importance. I didn't find it.
Okay.
I didn't find it imperative.
Okay.
It wasn't something that interests me. Though I liked it. I did enjoy it. It wasn't something that interests me. So I was like, no, this is not for me. But even growing up in high school, it was it was very difficult for me because now you see it more. You see more of like and you see more of Hispanics, Black and brown people, more teachers in school. When I was growing up, you didn't see that, and you didn't get that mentorship, that mentoring, that mentor to help you or to assist you, to motivate you, to encourage you to go to college. So it wasn't there. And then you come from a household where you were taught to work. It was work. I worked since I was 14 years old. I was taught to help my mother pay the bills. If I wanted summer clothes, I had to work. If I wanted anything, I had to work. So that was more important. That was laid.
Yeah, and Jackie, that's so important that you're saying that, because a lot of people don't understand the education system, why our kids sometimes leave high school, because they don't understand that, that rent is a lot in New York City. And sometimes the kids at 14, starting at 14, you need to go to work to support the family. So kids may come to school and they're like sleeping, and the teacher's like, "Why are you sleeping? What's wrong with you?" Man, I'm tired. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to feed my family. It's not, it's not like you get to go home, teacher, to your suburbs and all that stuff. Like we're actually, surviving paycheck to paycheck here.
Absolutely.
Again, I'm sorry.
Absolutely. I think that's important for teachers, for educators to know, is that we live a different lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
That life that you can just go to college and live the college life, right?
Yeah.
You have responsibilities at home. People held you accountable for paying bills, for cleaning up the house, and that for somebody who's young and in high school, that's a lot to endure. So
yes, it is.
It is. So so I worked for the New York City Department of Education, and I loved it. Okay. So it did give me something. Being a parent coordinator gave me the opportunity to engage with a lot of parents in the community.
Okay.
And I felt in love with it. That was like a passion for me. And so my principal retired, and I remember getting a white principal, and from the moment she walked in, I said, "Oh, this is going to be hell."
Yeah.
And it was. So I was always inspired to work with like another Black or brown person, somebody who I can relate to. So I left the school and I went to another work at another high school.
Okay.
I don't want to mention the high school because I didn't have a good relationship with her either.
Fine.
So I left.
Shout out to them.
I left that high school and started working at this high school, and I realized that the New York City Department of Education wasn't for me.
Okay.
I had to make the decision: was it my mental health, or was the stability of having that job that everyone looked up, everyone saw like, "Oh my God, you have the job. You work for the New York City Department of Education. You have a union. You get benefits. You're okay." Mm-hmm. So, I had to make that decision, and I made the decision to leave.
Before you made that decision, and you don't have to say if you don't want to, but I want to get into some real stuff here. So you're leaving as a parent coordinator. Do you mind saying how much you were making at that time?
Yes, I was making about $50,000 a year. So, and for somebody who didn't, who, because at that time when I left, I already had my associate. So at that time, okay, somebody with that, you're making $50,000. You're living the American dream. Plus,
yeah.
I want my home in New Jersey, and but it didn't fit me. Every day every day was a struggle for me to go to work. Every day I had to convince myself, okay, you're going to work, you're gonna be okay, and it was starting to affect with my mental health. Yeah. Really bad.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So that and I want people to understand what $50,000 a year breaks down to in New York City. Yes. Because that's roughly, let me see, they take 40%. That's roughly about $2,500 a month you're bringing home. And if your rent is like $1,500 to $2,000,
you're not making it. It's not enough. So this is where it gets good, Martin.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So I think every experience that we endure teaches us something. Everything is a moment, right? Everything is a teaching moment, right?
Yeah.
So I realized that a single mother in my situation, I wanted to help. So how did I want to help? So I kept going back and forth with decisions. I decided to open up my own nonprofit organization.
Okay.
And when I decided to open up my nonprofit organization, I just opened up an Instagram empowering women, but it wasn't enough. That wasn't like the fulfillment that I was trying to tap into. Mm-hmm. What I was trying to tap into is people in my predicament, in my situation, single moms who were making the $50,000, right? And live under that bracket where you're making the $50,000, but you're not entitled to all the assistance, so you still live under that poverty line. How did I want to assist mothers like that? So that's where I started helping. I started supporting single mothers, single working mothers. But of course, we've expanded as a company, as an organization where we help everyone. But that was my initial goal, to help single mothers who fit under that umbrella,
Okay.
or even mothers, right?
Yo, listen. Yes, I was saying, I said Happy Women's History Month in the beginning because, and then, you know, everyone who knows is April 2nd. But for us, we can't keep putting women in this box where it's a month. You know, it's Happy Women's History Month every day of the year. You know, and shout out to single mothers. Shout out to them. You know, like people don't understand how tough that is. You know, raising a kid, a young man or a young woman in this environment where you pray every day when they leave the house that everything is going to be okay on that journey to school and that journey back home.
Yeah.
You know, so get it. Sorry.
Yes, and it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy task. You know, for me, it's a struggle every day with my son, teaching him to be a really good human being, right?
Yes.
Teaching him, you know, and then you try to teach your son morals and respect, and you want them to go to school, and you want them, you know, you want to put them in a great path where they go to school, they go to college, they, you know, they live for themselves. But it's hard being a single mom because you take on all the load. So that's where I wanted to come and help. Like, how do I help parents like that? Do I create events? Also, there's huge stigma on families. They're afraid to ask for assistance because they're ashamed, they're embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
So creating those safe spaces, because that's what that's my mission statement. We create safe spaces. So having the event, creating those safe spaces where you're able to pick up a coat and you're able to pick up some clothes or a gift card to a supermarket or some food, and not feel that everyone is looking at you or ashamed, embarrassed, because we all need help, right? We all
need help. And thank you for changing the narrative, because, like, you know, single mothers will spend $200 on a pair of Jordans.
Absolutely.
And not even think twice, right?
Yes.
But, you know, those Jordans, you can't put candles in those Jordans at night when you need to pay the electric bill.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So thank you for changing the narrative, because we're here to support. You know, if you need help, you know, you have to get that help, because it only benefits the family. You know, so thank you for changing that narrative.
Of course. And you know, when I started Bloom Empower, my goal was to assist about 100 women. I wanted to help 100 women a year. Today, 5,000 women.
Woo! All right. 5,000 women.
5,000 women and families.
Growing.
I have supported. I'm so proud of myself. We're gonna hit our 2-year mark on the 11th of April, and I'm so excited. I'm so happy. Yes, and you know, with all of that being said, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot, you know. Yes. And I have to, and I take moments for myself, because I endure. I have to process, and it can become overwhelming, because I receive maybe about 100 to 200 emails a day of families asking for assistance, and sometimes I can't help. I had to learn when to say, okay, I have to walk away from this, or respond to the email, and provide them the resources to someone else, or the tools, because I can't do everything myself. I take out every morning. I have a routine, Martin. I have a routine. Every morning I get up, I meditate, I journal, I drink some tea or some water, and I process what happened the day before, or what's going to happen. And with that being said, because of these moments that I take for myself, because I think it's important that we take time for ourselves, I no longer have bad days. I have a bad moment. And even the bad moment, I inhale, I exhale, and I take accountability for that bad moment. Why am I having a bad moment? Because we're the ones who predict our life. We're the ones who have the power to shift our narrative, our life. So those bad moments, I sit back and like, okay, why am I having a bad moment? Okay, what could I have done differently to change what happened?
Wow. And that's that millionaire mindset in the morning, those moments, right? Listen, you say you walked away from the DOE, right? And people think, people are very afraid to walk away from things. Because I'm like, yo, if I leave my job, I've been training for this all my life. What am I going to do? What do I do? But you walked away, which is so courageous. That's so powerful. You walked away, and when you left, were you not afraid? Did you leave with money? Did
So
you have to? What?
so when I walked away from the DOE, yes, I find it very courageous. To launch my nonprofit. Fortunately, the DOE did give me some good. I walked away and I cashed out on my pension, my whole pension to start on my.
Wow! Whoa!
I cashed out on my pension to start my nonprofit to help families in need. So the DOE
That's
taught me a lot, though. It did. It taught me a lot. It gave me the opportunity to love what I'm doing, because that's what I love to do. The DOE gave that, because I was able to interact and engage with families and be that advocate for families. So now that I'm doing that now, I'm that advocate for families now. If I can help you, if I can assist you, that's a fulfillment in itself. Money isn't everything. It's not.
Say it again, girl. You better say it again.
Money isn't everything.
That's right.
Is that fulfillment when I get off the phone with a family, Martin, or I send an email back and I get a response and they're like, "Thank you for everything. Thank you for what you have done." When I deliver food to a family and you can see it's so what's the word I want to use? It's so apparent that they are going through things. They're struggling, and just with my little bit of help of food shopping, it helps the family. So yes, it's such a fulfillment. Money is everything.
You got me all emotional right now, because, and I'm sure the people out there that are listening, this is so impactful. Because you know what, we're trained to, like, go to school, get the degree, get the job, work 30 years, buy the house, and those are society's rules. But sometimes we forget about our own personal mental health and just being happy, and you're oftentimes you're forced to choose between happiness and the job and money, right? And so the decision that you made to walk away is just so tremendous. And hopefully, I'm not suggesting for people to walk away from their jobs right now. Tomorrow, leave your job.
Well, I am suggesting, if you're unhappy, right?
Yes.
Your mental health is way more important than you have. You can always get a job, right?
Yeah.
Even if you don't have the experience, you can always get a job. But your mental health, it takes years to recover. And the traumatic experience that you have to endure is just months and months, sometimes years and years of therapy that you can't take back. So take that time off for yourself, right? Process. Yes. I think it's very important that everyone takes that time off for themselves in the morning, whether it's in the mornings, in the night, is in the evening, whatever. Take that time and process. Journaling is really good. It gives you that moment to, like, process what you went through the day, or just everything that goes in the journal stays there. And it is courageous, Martin. It is courageous when you leave a corporate job, or you leave a job like the Department of Education, and you walk away because you realize that your mental health is more important, is more valuable than any job, because you can do it. I think I believe. No, I don't think. I know you can do it. I know you can. Anything you set your mind to, you can do it.
That's right. And you're living proof of that. And and listen, you're so impactful, and you're such an inspiration to so many. And I know there's so many women out there that are benefiting from what you're doing. Even some people, I see Mr. Tesla Styles right now online. He's about to donate. He's out in California. Shout out to
donate. Yes. So
yes, he's about to donate. Yes. And we put the link in the chat here. So for anybody who wants to donate, listen, I always say start with $1 and work your way up, whatever it is within your wheelbarrow, but you're doing something outstanding. And this is a great cause that I'm sure people don't mind supporting. All right. But your story from Brooklyn to the shelter to is it Uptown Bronx, right?
Bronx.
To college, to high school, then moving to Boston, coming back to high school, then going to college, and then saying, you know what, this is not for me right now. And then going to the DOE and again saying, I'm still not happy. I'm not happy here. This is causing me a lot of stress on my mental health. So you chose, happiness over the stress of the DOE, right? And
I stood with the path of what the EOD told me. I'm still and I'm still involved in the community. I think, which is amazing.
Yes.
But the way I run it, the way I understand culture, right? Because
Yes.
the DOE became very political now. So it's all about numbers, about data, and even though I think that's important because that's how you can continue to help your community, but I think the most important thing to run a business the way I do is having empathy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
empathy, being understanding what folks go through every day, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people lack empathy, and I think that's important when you run a nonprofit organization. Is that
It.
okay? Your circumstance is very different from me, even though it might look the same. Very different from the way, yeah. So everybody has this different circumstance.
That's right. And out of all of this, right? Your journey and your story, what would you say is your aha moment? What was your aha moment where you were like, this is it, and this is a go. This is what I'm gonna do. What was your aha moment?
My aha moment is when I was talking to the principal of that school, the second school I went to, and I'm looking at her and I'm like, I wanted to be like you. And I realized that me, I realized that I was way more important than my mental health and me, myself, loving myself was way more important than dealing with all the bullshit she was putting me through. That was my aha moment when I knew what she was doing to families wasn't. So choosing to love myself, falling in love with myself again, taking that journey, going to therapy, continue to go to therapy, and I think therapy is important for us.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so I go to therapy, and if I'm unable to, I listen to podcasts that motivate me. I surround myself with people who inspire me.
Yes.
Yes, because I think that's important when you, and it's funny because once you start, I realize that now that I started this journey, I'm attracted to people, like-minded people.
Yes, the energy.
Yeah, the
Energy.
yes.
The energy. Yes.
I
It's like a magnet.
yeah,
Like a magnet, right? You start collecting all these wonderful people who share your beautiful energy, right?
yes,
And
it is, and it's just I think it's important. I want to stop, Martin, and I have so much more to do. I have
yes.
vision is I'm gonna
Well, just know, listen.
conquer this world.
Just know that you have a lot of support, and I want to thank you for sharing your impactful, emotional, amazing story with us. Now, going out right now, is there something you want to say to the people? By the way, does anybody have questions that's on the line right now? Anybody have questions that you would like to ask?
I also want to let folks know that if you go to bloomempowerment.org, if you know a senior who is going to college and they're in need of a college scholarship, go to bloomempowerment.org so they can fill out the application. The application is very simple. I didn't make it very complicated because, like I said, I came into this journey, I came into this nonprofit knowing that I don't want to make things complicated. I don't want to be that person. So the application is very simple. Go fill out the application. Also, I'm putting out an application in a couple of weeks for incoming freshmen to high school to win a laptop. So
Okay.
that laptop's on necessities when you go into high school.
Okay.
So doing that, I have several events. I have an event tomorrow.
All right.
So I have several events coming up, which I'm looking forward to. So if you want to be updated on anything that's going on with Bloom Empowerment, just go visit my website at bloomempowerment.org.
Okay, and once again, we just put the link in the post in the messages right there. So please follow up and support and tell a friend, please. Okay, listen, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your wonderful story. And guys, I just want to say, this is what we started out talking about actually, about your network determines your net worth, but your net worth doesn't always have to be financial. It is also health financial. And I also want to say it's like, who are you surrounding yourself with? Because who you surround yourself with determines ultimately, who you will become. And it's like, what are you waiting for? Right? What are you waiting for? I know it may seem scary at first, but as Jackie just gave her testimonial, it's like, sometimes you have to take that leap of uncertainty, to be happy. All right. So guys, as usual, thank you, Jackie, for sharing your story. We really appreciate it. And everyone has an educational story, but what's your educational story? And tonight's quote is by Oprah Winfrey. Yeah, I love my Oprah. Okay.
I have the Ruth Ginsburg shirt, so.
Okay.
But I love
RPG.
Yeah.
RPG in the house. So tonight's quote: don't worry about becoming successful, but work toward being significant, and the success will naturally flow. Again, don't worry about becoming successful, but work toward being significant, and the success will naturally flow. Oprah Winfrey. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. We love you, Jackie, and shout out to Bloom Empowerment. And we are